Okay, let's get started. It's around about 1 o'clock. Um, we are midday on Solstice, at least here where I am live. And boy, I can feel it's interesting that the element fire was, part of this. And I mentioned that it's 100 degrees up here, and boy, I can feel the fire element here. Thank you guys for joining. I wanted to, we're gonna look into, we're gonna feel our way through Solstice's reciprocity. And if you had the chance to join live this morning, we talked a little bit about solstice as, the lightest day of the year, the darkest day of the year, the pendulum swinging from one side to the other. And there's two things for us to note there. There's this idea of balance, of everything being held in balance, and of cycles, of things always keep going. That maiden mother crone cycle. There's this interconnectedness between everyone and everything. And so solstice, no matter what hemisphere you're in, it's a celebration of those, the peak or the trough, the high and the low point of the cycle, knowing that the cycle is a cycle. It's just that the circle is always there. It just keeps going. So it came to me that solstice has this wonderful idea. There's the hummingbird. I'm going to put up a video for everybody after when I get the recording, seeing if I can show the fountain. There's a little hummingbird that's drinking from the fountain as I'm talking, and I'll do my best to focus. So solstice is reciprocity, and that solstice is this overarching high and low energy, but really points us to the cycles of things. And reciprocity is one of the words that I think it's worthwhile for us to revisit and remember and re-embody, because it's what the native tribes know, the indigenous cultures that haven't been modernized, they haven't forgotten this term. So the simplest way to think about reciprocity is, I give to you because my cup is full. So in the modern world, we're taught, if I want a latte, I need to pay $5 for the latte. I pay $5, I get the latte. Tons of separation there. It works well for structure of society, but it puts up these walls of separation and fear. And it's really the principle of I give to you because I have. Indigenous folks know that invokes abundance. When I declare that I give to you because my cup is full, that's me putting the stake in the ground saying I am declaring abundance. And I am declaring I live outside of linear time. I live outside of the walls of separation. I live in circle. I live in community, because when I live in community, then there is no need for yours versus mine and me versus you. And I love that I get that is all a part of our remembering that the cyclical nature of time, the cyclical nature of the course of the planets and the heavens, the cyclical nature of our lives, and this circle idea that we are all connected. So I want to touch on two more words that will help us understand this. Then we're going to get to a practice. So the next word, I'm going to put up a photo here because I love I don't know. I'm a visual person, so hopefully you guys find this stuff helpful. So this is a picture of the people in the Andes in Peru, and the concept they have that it reminds me of. It reminds my teachers and all of us of reciprocity is Ayni, A-Y-N-I, and Ayni translates as sacred reciprocity in their language. And so it evokes this idea of everything's held in balance. And I was talking about the idea of solstices and equinoxes, the cycles of the heavens, reminding us that everything is always held in balance. So it's this, they think of it as a cosmic law. And the idea is that there's a powerful, intelligent cosmic force that balances flows of energy. It balances everything in the universe. And it's also a law that they say, one of my shamanic teachers says, nothing ever goes one way. Just because it's going one way one time, well, it doesn't mean it's not going to come back and go the other way. And it reminds me of that pendulum swing. Nothing ever just goes one way, which also gives us a lot of hope for the changes and the shift that we really do want to see. And the other thing that the idea of Aini is that, we're continually taking in love and support from the universe, from the cosmos, from the sun, from Mother Earth. And we must also send that support and love back. We are not just takers. We are not impoverished children. We're not fearful people. We are required by sacred law to offer, to give back, to connect to the sun, to send our love, to be these conscious co-creators with all the forces of humanity. And I love this image of these people joyfully dancing around and planting their potatoes in community and calling in the forces of nature. It's just so it's so honoring of each other and honoring of Mother Earth. So that reminded me, it's along the lines of these sacred notions of connectedness that we are really encouraged to remember. And then I'm gonna share one more idea that I think is related, and this is something that is Ubuntu. And this, I hope I say that right. I think I'm saying it right. Ubuntu is kind of along the lines of reciprocity, because it means, the best way I understand it, it means I am because you are. And so in the and it's a Zulu, it's an African, South African, the people of that continent still hold this, understand what this means, and live this this principle of I am because you are. And so that also means there is no separation. And I love that the children sitting with their feet in a circle. It means, and they think of it as like every human being is always in communion with every other human being. Every human being is always in communion with nature all the time. Every human being is always in communion with the spiritual world, with the supernatural forces. And it's the same type of thing that the people in the Andes know, which is there is no separation. I am not separate from the sun. I am not separate from everyone gathered here. I'm not separate from anybody else. And that is so refreshing, because it gets my ego out of the way, that I don't have to get things right. I get to show up and be a part of a circle. And also I need to hold accountability for my energetic being, for what the energy that I'm offering, for the choices that I'm making, and for the things that I'm sending out into the universe. And I think we can feel now, more than ever, that we are needed to hold ourselves accountable, to be accountable for the ways that we are in the world, and the thoughts that we have, the things that we eat, everything that we do. And this is another, I love this picture of, I think it was called Spirit of Ubuntu, but I want to quote Michael Oyenibuchi Eze, and he is an African spiritual leader. And he says, the lesson of Ubuntu happens when we find our shared humanity in the encounter with others. The masks of fear, suspicion, and strangeness are removed, and the gifts become visible. Ubuntu does not ask that we erase differences and that we become the same. It asks that we interpret others positively, recognizing that whatever our differences, our humanity is equal. It is an invitation to dialogue, to understanding, even without agreement. And with understanding comes compassion, tolerance, nobility, sharing. Sharing is divinity, just as food is divinity in African culture. Ubuntu tells us, go and share food with the person you don't like. Something will shift. In dialogue, you need not come to agreement, but you will come to understanding. So powerful. I mean, I think as we are seeking to remember the role that humanity knew that they played in the world and in life and in the universe, and we're seeking to re-embody these ancient principles, I hope that you can see the parallel between these principles of reciprocity, Aini, and Ubuntu. And it came to mind, I forget where I read it, but in the modern world is Descartes. I think therefore I am. Very ego, boom, 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 boom. I think, and then all these principles are saying, no, I I am because you are, and I am one with everything. And I think that the heavens are reminding us, these pagan and Egyptian and Aztec people who built structures, talking and embodying the cycles of time, that they were not separate from the cosmos. So with that, I want to get us to a practice. And it's a practice that I learned from my shamanic teacher, one of the teachers who has taught me so much about Peruvian shamanism. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to start by just saging the space. Saging, and you can imagine when I am saging here, this is not a bundle of sage. This is just some sage that I happen to grow here. So we'll see how it wants to light up or not. But you can imagine the smoke is coming through and just purifying your space as well. All right. So breathe it in. Breathe in this sacred medicine of the plant that's helping to clear the space, the air around me, the air around you. And bless your space. And as you consider blessing your space, connect to your heart, connect down to the earth, and send just a pulse and a prayer of gratitude to Mother Earth. And I am already set up facing the east. You can turn to face the east, or you can just in your mind's eye turn to face the east. And we're just going to take 3 deep breaths. And just imagine you're addressing this, facing this direction, coming into your body, coming into this vessel that is, as we came to understand this morning, this conduit, this transformer of light from the sun down into earth. And whether you're seated or standing, just feel your whole weight, even if it's down through the legs of a chair or down through your sit bones. Feel Mother Earth support you. Feel your whole weight connected down, felt by her. And you can just feel her holding you. Feel her keeping you safe. Feel her always supporting you, as if she is the one who's giving you the balance and the strength to take the next step, every single step that you take. And let's bring our palms together in front of our heart, activating the heart. You can even just rest your thumbs gently on your chest and take another breath in and breathe in. Breathe into your heart. And breathe out. Just send a pulse of love out through your heart. 2 more times, breathing into the heart. Sending a pulse of love out in all directions with your heart. Breathing in. And breathing out. And now taking your 2 hands, you're going to face them down. Hopefully you can see, I'm going to actually drop my hands down so that it's comfortable for me to feel this right near my root chakra. Open your eyes and just connecting down to the earth. Imagine you're sending that gratitude down into earth, and then just say aloud or to yourself aloud if you can, today is the best day of all our lives. And feel how kind of, ooh, that feels, because today is the best day. Today is the best day, solstice and every day. Today's the best day right now to open ourselves to the infinite blessings of this life. Today is the best day to offer our entire life in service and in ceremony for our planet, for our community, for our global family, for our cosmic family, for the universe. And let your palms now just come to, if your palms face up on your lap, or just let your hands, if you're standing, kind of drop down by your hips. And the next thing we're going to say out loud to ourselves, I am always ready. I am not prepared. This is an interesting shift that my shamanic teacher taught me. At first, I thought, huh, I'm not prepared. Exactly, he says, because we need to make ourselves available for the cosmic program while acknowledging that every single step is a preparation for the next step. I'm always ready. It's almost saying I'm always in service, and I am not prepared is helping us to shift out of linear time, out of this programmed need to understand what the next thing is. It's a fear that is keeping us from being in flow. I am always ready. I am not prepared. So we don't say I am prepared, because that would mean we're taking the path of life, we're taking the cosmos, we're taking things for granted. Instead, I am not prepared. We're always in constant preparation for everything that the cosmos and Great Spirit is participating with us. And we are always in ceremony. And the miracle of life is that we're always in ceremony. And now take your hands. To complete this, lift your hands to about the height of your shoulders. You can keep your arms straight. I'm going to pull it in, so maybe hopefully you can see me. And now say aloud, everything is for me. Feel how universal that feels, as if this whole life is just awaiting you to ask. Everything is for me. Nothing is mine. Nothing is mine gets us to this principle of reciprocity, Aini Ubuntu. There is no separation. Nothing is mine. There is no need for me to take possession. So everything is for me. Nothing is mine. And as you say that, see if you can feel that this life is a gift. This life is a present. This life is ever evolving. And our gift is to be present back, to receive and to give our presence back to Mother Earth, Mother, Father, Son, knowing that life is always abundant. And that there's almost like a cosmic store of abundance. In the Andes, they believe there are these storehouses. Let's take our hands and set them back down, just to kind of still be in this ceremony. They believe that there's these storehouses called colas. I'm probably not saying that, but they're actually storehouses in the stars where there has been stored infinite love, infinite abundance, infinite happiness, anything we need and want. And it's actually, they believe, is stored in the constellation of the Pleiades. So then with that, just bringing our palms back to our heart, and just with respect, with gratitude, maybe a new understanding that we would never own. We would rather receive completely. Because they believe, and I think it's wonderful for us to consider, that the moment we call something ours, we're no longer being generous with ourselves. We're no longer we're living in fear versus living in the present. And so now let's take what they call the position of I am. Take your right hand onto your heart. Take your left hand onto your solar plexus. And just take 3 deep breaths and stay present. I am. Just say to yourself, I am. As you inhale and as you exhale. And with that, we are complete. So I wanted to next share so that we can see visually. I mentioned I'm a visual person, so I just made some of these slides for us to consider. You're always connected to everyone and everything. And I love this because look at the as above, so below. Look at the toroidal energy field that is being shown to us by the universe. So that means there is no separation. You're always connected. And just take that in. keep going. There's a few more just principles that I think are worth. You are in, hold on a second. I need to close this down. I hope you guys can see that. You're always in ceremony. I love that because we get to gather together and be in ceremony now. But the idea is that everywhere we go, it's the idea of taking responsibility for our energy. You're always in ceremony. You're always in sacred ceremony, whether you're in traffic, whether you're making dinner, whether you're at the store, whether we're here together doing something consciously co-creative. There is no separation. There's no separation of, a hard stop between anything. So the idea is that we're always in flow, we're always in ceremony, we're always connected. Okay, let's get to 2 more. As above, so below. So this is also relates us back to solstice, as within, so without, that we are the microcosm to the macrocosm. So if we are communing with the sun and coming to realize ourselves as the conduits of energy, then and I love this image, it shows us as that image that I actually just found this 2 hours ago, but I love it. It's us as these, we're taking in the light from the sun and we're sending it down to earth. And it also sort of reaches back to the you are always in ceremony. As within, so without. There's no need for internet fronting or having a good profile picture. It's really, who am I? How am I in integrity with myself and with everybody and everything? And then one more. This is from the words of my teacher. I wanted to honor him and give him credit for the practice we just did. He says with joyful abundance, today is the best day of our lives. And you just have to be like, whoa, I'm pulled out of my head. I'm pulled out of everything I needed to do. And really, I want to claim today's the best day of my life. Today, right now, every day, all the time we proclaim that. And then I am always ready. I am not prepared. That puts us in trust with our relationship with Creator, with the cosmos, with spirit, with the directions, with all of it. I'm always ready. It releases the need for our ego to be in fear and need to be prepared. That was very much a lesson for me for this solstice gathering. I'm always ready. I'm not prepared. And then everything is for me. Nothing is mine. What if I don't need to have ownership of anything and I don't need to have a storehouse of gold to take with me to the grave? What if I can actually realize that everything is always available for me and I don't need to call anything mine? That pulls in the idea of I'm not prepared, but I'm always supported. Freddie Cuspe Singona is the name of my teacher that I wanted to give him credit. So with that, that's my offering for us for the middle of the day at solstice. I don't know if anybody has anything that resonates with them or they want to share. As with last time, if you feel like sharing, please do unmute yourself, pop yourself in. I'm gonna take a sip of tea.
I wanted to share an artwork that I made as a tribute to what I want to manifest. And it started with like me trying to outline a figure 8 to represent abundance. And I kind of strayed away from it throughout the process, but I like what came out, which is a bird and how free a bird feels when it flies and how light their bodies are in order to do so. So all the eyes represent truth, and yeah. I don't know if you can see it very well.
That's beautiful. Pull it back just a little bit. Can I see it again? Okay. Yeah, right there. I just want to see that for a second. And I love the light that's coming down. You can't see it, but you'll see it in the replay. The light that's coming down overhead. It looks like peacock feathers, and it almost looks like a tiger when I first saw it.
Oh,
well, and it's interesting because I was mentioning that as I was preparing here, there's a little fountain, and the hummingbirds and the birds were like literally 5 feet from me, just madly chirping away. and it caught my attention. So I wonder if there's some sort of bird energy.
Yeah.
Right. Anybody else?
Well, I just want to say that's beautiful. Like that is beautiful. So keep doing what you're doing. It was meant to be, right? When you start to draw something and it just becomes something else, it's it comes from your soul, right? So you obviously have a beautiful soul. So that's beautiful. I just wanted to say, as always, Gail and I totally, this is our second solstice together. We did last spring or summer as well, and it's a wonderful day. It's like I don't know, it's just a sacred day for us. So we just want to thank you for doing this. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And I wrote down some of the quotes, but I also I'm gonna rewatch it so I can start really thinking and journaling on some of them. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah, I find when I'm rewiring my brain is what I call it, because it's like I find these thoughts and I'll be like, whoa, like writing it out and putting it in it's almost like post-it note style, but I'll make it and I see it again until it is really in me. And that's why I think I was led to just be like, we need to actually look at these, because they're, it's so, I'm always ready, I'm not prepared. And I didn't even really, none of that came through until an hour ago, but I knew it's so funny that I'm like, oh, that's the magic. And even, the magic, Alice, of your ability channeling that piece of artwork. And then, everything's is forming, nothing is mine. And when I teach energy healing, it reminds me of one of the principles of energy healing is you cannot take credit for a healing because you didn't do it. Spirit did it, so and it's one of those things. It's like, okay, that's also the connectedness that we all have. And I'm really grateful for you guys for sharing this day with me as well. I think it's really neat to have a retreat, to be building a retreat center. I don't have it, obviously. Again, I don't own this place. I'm just the steward of the whole a part of the project, and to be able to share with people around the world is so healing. We all need healing. The world needs healing. And Alice, I think your artwork isn't, the world needs that. That was real clear to me. So you keep doing that. I mean, I think it's fantastic. Yeah. Drop me a note when if you can take a picture of that piece of artwork too. I'd love to look at it again. So with that, I think, unless there's anybody else has anything else they want to share. With that, we are complete at the middle of the day. At 5 o'clock Pacific time, we're going to do a small but safe fire ceremony. And I think it's a good time. Katie says, thank you for this. You are so welcome. Thank you all. It's an honor, and I couldn't think of anything else I should be doing. So there we go. It's kind of one of those things that I'm, or that I would want to be doing. So thank you for holding space with me. It's also funny. I remember when the teacher needs the student needs the teachers, the meeting holder needs the people, we all need each other. That's also part of the thing, is like, there's not a hierarchy, there's a circle. That's also where we're headed, is the circular way of being throughout our world. And I think we can sense how much we need that. So with that, let's think about what we want to release and what we want to call in. And we'll do that in fire ceremony in a few hours. If you want to join me live, I will be here. It's 1:30 my time, and it's going to be 5. Nemikov says, thank you so much, Lisa. You are welcome. And to you all, beautiful eternal peacock picture too. Yes, eternal peacock. I love that. Cosmic eternal peacock. Okay, blessings to everybody. Hopefully I'll see you guys in a few hours. Thank you.